Hi, welcome back to the podcast. My name is Tricia Friedman, and this week's episode is a response we had from a loyal listener to the Shifting Schools podcast who reached out to say, hey, I follow the newsletter, I follow you on social media, and I know that sometimes there's a conversation about being away at an event, running a workshop, a training, being at a conference. Can you say a little bit more about what's happening in that space? So in order to meet that listener's question, this episode is actually going to set you up to understand part of a workshop that I recently ran that was looking at why we must include algorithmic literacy or an understanding of how algorithms work in our conversations about media literacy. So I'm also going to walk you through a free guide that's perfect for families or friend groups who would like to do some of that co-learning together over the summer. Before I dig into that, we do have a quick word from our show sponsor.
Shifting Schools is excited to be sponsored by newlight.io. Their platform is designed to simplify MTSS frameworks for personalized student support. Built by leading experts, New Light focuses on getting educators the answers they need fast. Which students need which levels of support? With simple data collection and insightful analytics powered by AI, New Light's platform provides actionable solutions to support your students effectively. Try it for free at newlight.io. That's NEULIGHT.io. Check the link in the show notes to learn more.
Okay, so let me start by just foregrounding the free guide. And again, the full link to it is available for you in the show notes. This is what I refer to as attunement-informed media literacy. And what I mean by attuned is that we understand that in order to learn or develop media literacy with learners of all ages, we've got to focus on having that experience together first and foremost. So I would say that attunement-informed media literacy asks a few really critical questions. Those questions being, number one, how is media impacting my emotions and my health? Whether we're talking about the songs that you're listening to, the video games you're playing, the social media you're engaging with, it's important to stop and realize these things do have influence on our health, on our emotions. So let's name them. Let's also ask, what kind of relationship does that media make possible? So if you're a gamer, are you finding friends through that? If you're an avid reader, are there social opportunities that are attached to that media? Are you engaging with them? Are you not? Think a little bit more about that choice. So the reason that I think these questions and this free guide are really needed right now is that, platforms, these delivery systems for media, they are not just about what we know, but they also shape how we experience time and memory. We often will ask, or will help students ask, if we're talking about a post on social media, what's the agenda behind this? And, that's a great question, but we also need to ask, how does it shape the feelings I have about myself and others? Because there's a lot of research that suggests our engagement with social media does have impact on identity and does shape the way that we behave with others. Okay, so when you open up this free guide, essentially, you're going to have a checklist to help you understand how you might use this guide with others. So it will nudge you to think about people that you want to do this challenge with. You have 5 challenges to review and pick from. And the idea is that from the 5, you just pick 3. Now, I love dogs. If you've listened to many episodes of the podcast, you've probably heard about how much I feel like I've learned with my dog. And so my dog has influenced the kind of scaffold or the lens that is useful or that is used in this guide. So it stands for dog. The D stands for disrupt patterns. The O, be open to emotion. And the G is let's be grounded in community. So again, those are the three mindsets that you'll be looking to employ as you use this free guide. And there's a checklist where, okay, give the challenges to those in your group, ask them to review so that you can have a vote on the three that you'll pick, or people can submit their own challenges. You're going to want to draft a timeline. So our recommendation is really pick 4 to 5 weeks that you will have completed this by, and decide when's your start point. When are you going to finish the first challenge by, the second, the third? And you might also want to consider some way of celebrating what it means to complete each of the challenges, or to think about what it might mean to document your process and your progress. So let me read a few of the challenges to you. Again, the reminder being all 5 of the challenges are in the free guide. So the first one says, each member of your team will pick something that one of your either family members, if you're doing it as a family, or friends, really enjoys, but you never understood. And you're going to sign up to try it out and to see what it is actually that they value in it. You'll invite that person to answer 2 specific questions you come up with to build on your understanding. So again, this is a media literacy challenge where maybe a friend of mine is saying, hey, this is a YA book that I really loved this past year, or this is a video game, or this is a phone app-based game that I love to play. It might not necessarily be the first thing that you would engage with, but this is where we're going to disrupt some of our own patterns of media consumption. We're going to be open to understanding what is the emotion that maybe is brought to your friend or your family member through this, and you're going to get really curious about why it's meaningful to them. So that's challenge number 1. Challenge number 2, as an option, is that you would pick a media experience, which might be a song, it might be a story, a social media post, a video game, or an app, and you'll pause during or after to describe the emotions that it brought up for you. Your description, though, here's the kicker. Your description of it is going to be not using emoji, not using words, but instead you're going to either sketch out your reflection, you'll create a little hum song that you can do, or maybe you build it out with Lego, or you make a flashbook with sticky notes. So in number 2 challenge, we're really pairing this idea of a team-based experience of media and a reflection that's a little bit more playful and more abstract. Okay, I'm going to just list the third challenge, and challenges number 4 and 5 are in that free guide. Number 3 is that you would pick a movie, story, or a game that you all know. So you're doing this with friends. It's maybe a family, a favorite of that group. And what you're going to do is with that text, it could be a book, it could be a movie, a TV show, video game, you're going to choose a background or a side character, somebody that's not the lead, somebody that doesn't get a lot of screen time for that text. And as a group, you're going to draft a comic strip from their point of view, or you will generate a pitch for a follow-up story that puts them at the center. Inside the free guide, you have 2 additional challenges. Again, the point of this guide is so that we are thinking about media literacy in our friendship groups, in our families, and that emotional literacy is there at the center, as is just the relational intelligence, getting to know others a little bit better through media as well. So the link to download it is over there in the show notes. As always, I hope, again, for that listener who reached out with this question, this gives you a little bit of a sense of something that I was doing recently, and also just gives you some free support to maybe be thinking well in advance of the summer, how can I set up family and friends to continue doing that learning, that having that curiosity around our media that we know we so critically need. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you again next week. Take care.
Hey there, dedicated listener. If you've made it this far, we know you're passionate about shifting the way education works, and Tricia and I appreciate you. If you loved what you heard today, We'd be so grateful if you could take a moment to rate and review Shifting Schools wherever you listen to podcasts. Those ratings help us reach even more educators just like you. And if you know someone who could benefit from these conversations, please share this episode with them. Just one person. Think of the impact we can make together. Don't forget to sign up for our newsletter for even more great content. And if you haven't already, join us at Camp Shifting Schools, where the conversations keep going long after the podcasts end. Thank you for being a part of this journey, and thank you for being part of Shifting Schools.